hard when he was supporting us against Idi Amin. But you young people, you should really push for the integration of Africa. The politics you are engaged in now, football. Somebody asked me, which club do you support? Can you imagine that which European club do I support? I said, what are those? He said, they are clubs. What are they? There is something called Arsenal. Another one called what? Please. I was a footballer myself, but I stopped playing in 1966. So if I couldn't play football myself, how can I watch the football of other people? So watu wetu wanakuwa kwenye mambo hayo, they don't look at their own future.
A 4-hour downpour in Bulambuli has left 8 villages destroyed, with only 14 bodies retrieved so far, as over 100 people are reported missing. The tragedy struck 2 sub-counties, Soti and Buluganya, where nearly 200 households, more than 50 of which have been buried, are now affected.
The heavy rainfall yesterday, which lasted for 4 hours, wiped out 8 villages, claimed many lives and buried over 100 people who remain missing, according to the locals.
Over 100 people have died in the area. And now the survivors, we are wondering how they are going to survive for the next 5-10 years to come.
But we have got 11 people. Now people need this help from the government. Even cattle, every animal has taken off.
I'm requesting the government to make to find out all measures to make sure that our people are being resettled.
The sub-county chairperson of Buluganya noted that many lives were lost, though their identities have yet to be confirmed.
Very many people have died and are still missing in the muddies. Only 11 bodies have been recovered. We're still requesting the government to make sure that our people are relocated instead of dying here.
Annette Nandudu, the Bulambuli district chairperson, recalled that in 2022, Buluganya sub-county lost 5 people in a similar landslide. The district had prepared the locals for relocation, but the plan was not successful.
We prepared them. People have been prepared, cancelled, we are ready to go down. Just imagine, the same people we had prepared are the same people who have lost lives. What can I say as a local leader? What is government intervention about this?
Hajati Fahia Palenyibosa, the Bulambuli district resident district commissioner, expressed condolences to the grieving families and highlighted the government's preparations to address the crisis.
With bare hands, we can't move any further. However, I want to assure our people here that our team, our security team, the UPDF guys are coming with heavy machines to do intensive excavations. Let us be calm, let us be patient. We expect to get our people down there. According to Hajati Fahia, locals have tried to retrieve the bodies, but the vast area has made it difficult. She revealed that the Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, have deployed 120 officers to... My UPDF team is on the way coming. The only challenge we are having, all the roads have been covered. They are trying to forge a way to this place with big machines to see that we get our brothers who are hidden down there. District Woman Member of Parliament, Engineer Irene Muloni, along with other leaders, is urging locals to relocate to safer areas as more rainfall is expected. Then please accept to leave this place and be taken elsewhere for the safety of your lives. Please, I humbly request you accept relocation.
The situation where it has reached with all that mass, with the people buried, what does one do? It is so sad. It's sad, but my appeal to His Excellency the President, I appreciate the arrangements that he has made for us. But let's move. Let's move.
Bulambuli has long been affected by landslides and floods, resulting in loss of life and property.
The government has directed that all Ugandans living in landslide-prone areas, especially along the slopes of Mount Elgon, should vacate to safer locations before another disaster strikes. This directive was made by Prime Minister Robina Nabanja during a crisis meeting held today at her office in Kampala to address the situation in Bulambuli district. This follows last night's devastating landslide, where a number of people are believed to have died after being buried in a landslide in Buluganya sub-county, Bulambuli district.
The heavy rains in most parts of the country, including Mount Elgon areas, last night left some dead and hundreds displaced. This affected 3 villages of Masugu, Mamaro, and Namachire in Buluganya sub-county in Bulambuli district.
The estimated number of people, the number will go up to around 80. We are trying to assess to see, because that area has 148 households. So like many people have died, roads have been cut off, bridges have been washed. We start with the Sim Bridge.
Today, the Prime Minister Robina Nabanja called a crisis meeting on how her office should move in to rescue the affected people and ensure that the affected families receive support from government.
Fortunately, the PS yesterday, we have 8 billion that came from the Ministry for Contingency. So we can take advantage of this and have these people supported as a matter of urgency.
During the meeting, the Prime Minister Robina Nabanja directed that all Ugandans residing in landslide-prone areas, especially along the slopes of Mount Elgon, should vacate to safer areas before another catastrophe hits them.
Early warning systems should be the answer. And we want to urge our people, when you are told, please relocate, leave. Because we don't enjoy seeing people dead. Nobody wants this. Because those people will never come back. I also want to urge the people of Bugisu, you the leaders of Bugisu, when we say let us relocate people, support so that we can save life.
As Bugisu, we are going through this again. We have had this story over and over and over. But we are praying that this time.
Dispatched 500 soldiers to go on ground to support on. Yes. But we can't, the equipments will not be able to help. The excavators can't also help.
They can't reach.
They can't reach.
The Prime Minister and the leader of government business in Parliament, who is also Kakumiro Woman Member of Parliament, cautioned politicians who allegedly speak against the government relocation plan of the affected communities.
We are talking about relocating people. Other politicians are saying, no, when all these people go, our votes are good, doing what? But now, where are the votes? Can a dead person vote? Local people, you, the leaders, have not supported the office of the Prime Minister. You are over-politicizing everything.
But these sentiments that comes in, the political sentiments, make our work very hard.
But as of today's meeting, we have agreed that either you have a card or you don't have, you have to move to a safer place. So I encourage my people to move, leave the place, go to another area. Within Bugisu, all over Bugisu, we are going to settle within Bugisu. People should not fear that they are going to different places. We are within Bugisu, we are going to live in Bugisu. So like a member of Parliament, I urge people, we like each other, we love each other when we are all alive.
During the meeting, the permanent secretary in the office of the Prime Minister, Dansani Baraba, and an official from the Uganda Red Cross, Joel Kitutu, highlighted the emergency plan government has come up with to aid the people of Bulambuli.
We are now preparing issues of relief food arising out of the contingency fund. We want to ensure that food is delivered before close of business today. We already have officers who are on the way. I assigned a specific officer to be in charge of Mount Elgon. He's already on site, and plus Brigadier Akiki, they have gone to the site.
What has been done by Red Cross We have so far deployed more than 50 volunteers. They are doing rapid assessment on ground, and I know by 2 p.m., 3 p.m. we shall have the final report. But currently, you know how we work. We have regional warehouses. We have a regional warehouse in Mbale, and we have more than 420 non-food items. What we call NF.
What I'm going to do is get my tent, go to those places, and have these people relocated under my command. Have those people out. Otherwise now, there are those who have refused. Then we use army to drive them off.
Uganda Airlines has unveiled a flight path sustainability project aimed at mitigating bird strikes at Entebbe International Airport. During the project launch in Entebbe, Uganda Airlines CEO Jennifer Bamuturaki decried that since resuming operations, the airline has experienced 6 bird strikes on both the CRJ 900 and Airbus fleet.
There is an old saying among aviators that while birds and planes may share the sky, they do not belong in the same flight path. True to the saying, indeed birds and planes do not flock together. The national carrier Uganda Airlines says they have suffered 6 different bird strikes on both the CRJ 900 and Airbus A330s since resuming operations.
We all know that bird strikes are a challenge. Every time we are taking off for landing, those are some of the things we keep thinking about. And just to give you context, a windshield on a Bombardier, if we are lucky, we will get it at $100,000. If we are lucky. If we are lucky. And now that Bombardier sold to Mitsubishi, and Bombardier closed that plant, it means that there's a high demand for spare parts of the Bombardier type of aircraft. We had an aircraft recently that was grounded in Nairobi because it got the bird strike on landing for about a week or so.
Now, it's against this background that the airline has unveiled a new initiative codenamed Flight Path, aimed at mitigating the risk of bird strikes at Entebbe International Airport.
Roughly, for example, in a month globally, 90% of bird strikes are caused during takeoff and also landing. So here we want to look at how can we ensure that we reduce birds flying along the flight path.
The project focuses on community engagement, waste management, and environmental conservation by working closely with Entebbe municipality local communities, particularly those around fishing sites.
But it is our part as leaders, and as leaders I don't mean the mayor. A leader is anybody in the community who takes initiative to see it transform. As leaders, it is our job to ensure that we get our people in the mindset of change.
We thought that if we turned this waste into gold, these conditions will change. So apart from finding out that there's a challenge that we had now to get the community to work with us.
The airline is also taking the lead in cultivating a culture of recycling waste and routine community cleaning initiatives. Lydia Chomkama and Dan Lugemwa, UBC News.
Now, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Amina Zawede, has reaffirmed government's commitment to align innovation with policy to address the country's challenges and improve people's lives. Dr. Zawede was officiating at the Makerere University Artificial Intelligence Health Lab inaugural conference in Kampala.
Housed at Makerere University College of Computing and Information Sciences, Makerere Artificial Intelligence Health Lab aims at transforming healthcare through innovative artificial intelligence solutions. Makerere AI Lab has held its inaugural AI in Africa conference on the theme, Building a Strong Ecosystem for AI in African Health System. The conference brought together experts from academia, healthcare industry players and government to revise ways of harnessing the role of artificial intelligence in addressing critical healthcare challenges in Africa.
We recognize that there are significant challenges related to, of course, the wider adoption and deployment of artificial intelligence, not only in this country, but also specifically in the healthcare system. But these challenges notwithstanding, we are resolute and committed to ensure that we shall build the capacity and overcome and, of course, tap into the benefits of AI in its totality.
The Permanent Secretary Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Amina Zawede, reaffirmed the government's commitment to supporting innovation as a key driver to the country's transformation.
We believe that governments play a pivotal role in creating an enabling environment that nurtures innovation, attracts institutional support, and ensures sustainability. We cannot implement whatever recommendations have come up here that I listened in from the panel without partnering with all the stakeholders, different stakeholders. If we are talking about AI in health, we have to skill people. You can't do without the education system. You can't do without academia.
The project lead for Makerere University AI Lab, Dr. Rose Nakazi, emphasized the need for government to align innovation with the policy in order for the solutions to benefit the population.
Because if we develop artificial intelligence solutions in healthcare without an enabling environment, we might not see the impact that will come out of these solutions. So through conversations around policies from the different authorities like the Ministry of ICT and the Ministry of Health, can we have conversations on how frameworks, policies can be developed to allow artificial intelligence solutions in healthcare thrive?
The Makerere University AI Health Lab aims at automating disease diagnosis in real time, disease surveillance and support systems in healthcare units to improve the delivery of health services. Diana Kuchi, UBC.
The Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, partnering with the Food and Agriculture Organization, has developed a parish development model marketing strategy designed to revolutionize the marketing of agriculture products under PDM. The validation meeting with stakeholders has been held at Ryder Hotel in Mukono.
So we need to do capacity building, we need to train these people.
Stakeholders engaged with this strategy, which outlines transformative approaches, strategic objectives, and targeted interventions to enhance the marketability of PDM prioritized agricultural commodities.
And we are looking at, for example, all the institutions, all the schools, the tertiary institutions, vocational, all need to be fed, and where they get their produce. So before we think of export market, can we first look at the internal market, the domestic market?
Whereas SACCOs have successfully addressed funding challenges, this strategy emphasizes the critical need to prioritize robust marketing efforts for these products. The importance of establishing cross-border markets as safe alternatives for volatile regions has been underscored too in this strategy.
We can have markets along the borders so that all the customers can come, or the dealers from those countries can come and buy from the border markets. Then we are saying that we also need to make sure that we don't waste any food. We are looking at this circular economy whereby there is zero waste. What is a waste to a farmer? For example, the animal waste can be turned into fertilizers.
Another critical highlight is the majority of agricultural stores in rural areas are not being utilized. This strategy underscores the need to maximize these existing infrastructure which still lie redundant rather than burden taxpayers with developing new ones.
There are many stores, agricultural stores that are there scattered in rural areas that are underutilized and they need to be refurbished. So instead of now spending more money in building new infrastructure, we can look at how do we synergize and utilize the existing infrastructure.
PDM was launched by government in February 2022 in Chibuku district. The motto aims to transition households from subsistence to a thriving money economy.
In this agri-food systems perspective, everybody has a role to play. How do we bring it to the people? How do we bring it to the local governments so that they can, with a very easy language, transmit the messages to all the stakeholders?
This marketing strategy is poised to catalyze that shift by ensuring the economic potential of rural agriculture is fully realized.
When we exploit the domestic and regional market, they provide a strong foundation for the producer to even engage with buyers in the international markets.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Universities worldwide have been urged to place greater emphasis on integrating artificial intelligence into their teaching and learning processes to equip students with the most current skills and knowledge. This call was made by Chief Justice, His Lordship Alfonso Winyedolo, while speaking at the 11th graduation ceremony of the International University of East Africa. We have the details.
Over 542 students graduated in various fields of study at the International University of East Africa. The ceremony was held under the theme, Education in the Age of AI, highlighting the importance of incorporating AI into educational practices. The chief guest, His Lordship, Chief Justice Alfonso Winyedolo, applauded the university for its continued commitment to providing quality education and offering scholarships across Africa.
What makes me proud of IUAA is that we are not after numbers, we are after quality education. Because you do not need 1 million people to change the world. You need just one qualitative mind to change the world.
He emphasized the importance of AI in the education sector, urging institutions to leverage this technology to enhance learning. He also encouraged the graduates to use the certificates they've earned as a key to success in the world, stressing that their education should be a foundation for creating positive change.
The certificate you're going to hold in your hand today is a key into the world. You've not solved any problem by being graduated today.
The University Chancellor Ambassador Dr. Amina Mohammed urged the graduates to always have a positive impact on their communities, encouraging them to become ambassadors of change in the world.
No doubt that each of you will continue to push boundaries and make meaningful global contributions. At IUA, we have traditionally embraced innovation in terms of technology as well as in how we approach education.
IUEA Vice-Chancellor Professor Emeka stated that the university focuses on developing critical thinking and problem-solving skills. He explained that the integration of AI into their curriculum aims to address many challenges faced in education today.
And as IUEA, we embrace technology. We teach our students to embrace change, to participate in critical thinking, in problem solving.
The university also launched a new innovation, the Pionex Innovation, created by one of the graduates, marking a significant achievement in fostering creativity and technological advancement. The ceremony attracted a diverse group of scholars, African political leaders, ambassadors, ministers, religious leaders, and many other distinguished guests. Joel Vubia compiled the story.
The RDC of Kasanda, Segawa Michael, has called on parents to encourage their children to embrace vocational education. He emphasized that the government has played a significant role in empowering the youth with skills. Speaking as a chief guest at Joy Vocational Institute in Gandu Village, Mukono District, he highlighted the importance of putting government programs into practice. He said this would help reduce the number of unemployed youths in Uganda.
The RDC of Kasanda, Segawa Michael, has called for a renewed focus on instilling skills in the youth of today. Speaking as the chief guest at the graduation ceremony of Joy Vocational Institute, Gando Village, Mukono District, Segawa emphasized the importance of skilling the youth to reduce the number of unemployed youths in Uganda.
Skills today is the way to go. The government is supporting various skills through the DIT program. I call upon parents not to despise vocational skills. We need more younger people to get skills. So even the Kayunga Center is not enough. So when we get partners like Joy, they enable us to see that we can train many more younger people in these skills.
He also highlighted the importance of developing the talents of the youth, where he called upon all the youth to never undermine jobs.
I call upon young people who have finished P7, Senior 4, Senior 6, or even degrees. Don't stay in the field looking for jobs for 2 years when you have a talent in cooking. Get a 3-month course, 6-month course in catering. Look for the next business opportunity in your town. If you see it, look for a way of getting a skill, and you do a particular business or opportunity in a skillful way.
Sanya John, the director of Joy Vocational Institute, has thanked the government for its efforts in skilling the Ugandan youth, which he says has inspired him. However, he urged the government to offer more support to vocational institutions that are doing a great job of skilling the youth.
I wanted to make a contribution onto the government plan of skilling Uganda. We are really calling upon government to support these private institutions. Support them with more facilities if possible.
Being their first graduation, more than 100 students have graduated in different skill courses like fashion and design, welding, computer skills and more. Mbonda Ekoyada, the principal of the institution, has thanked the parents for trusting them with their children.
We have known that education alone is not enough. All of us can bear with me. Therefore, I want to thank our parents here, especially once again, for paying tuition for these graduates. Thank you for supporting them.
As Uganda prepares to commemorate World AIDS Day on December 1st, HIV/AIDS victims in the Busoga sub-region have expressed their frustrations over ongoing discrimination and marginalization by both the government and other organizations. They allege that they are denied job opportunities and excluded from economic development programs due to the stigma surrounding their conditions, with many fearing that they may die anytime soon.
I've told you the national average is 5.1. The HIV prevalence for Busoga is 3.1, so slightly lower than the national average. Yes, and out of the 1,492,000, Busoga contributes 80,500. And we have numbers for each of the Busoga districts. We can share those with you. 8,000 for Uganda, 1,920 from Busoga. Yeah, new infections.
And so we went ahead and sought permission from WHO, World Health Organization, and it was recommended to be part of the combination HIV prevention package, because HIV prevention starts with knowing one's status. So now, I concluded by saying that the demand has outstripped the supply in Uganda. Very many people are requesting for these HIV self-test kits. Yet for us, the reason why the Director General and the government of Uganda put these self-test kits as part of our package is because there are some population groups that are very difficult to come to our health care system.
Abalekaawo era n'abasinga bandi imwe mulifunangayira kuba muli balwaire mulifunangayira twamala okulikodinga abantu eyo ruutu eda katubakuumeku just because baidi nti olina akawuka oba olwisi oyinza nakufayo.
There is only one rule
you must follow in order to be a winner. Number 1, defeat the undefeatable. You, step forward. I want you to box the air until it falls down. I'm not seeing it falling in. You see it falling in. Box, harder. Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
Welcome back from that break, and we're glad that you're still with us here at UBC News Tonight. Now, in more news this evening, women in humanitarian leadership have been urged to move into spaces where they can also influence decision-making processes of the country. This call came up at the opening session of the Women in Humanitarian Leadership Summit 2024 held in Kampala. Diana Olwenyi-Peters has more.
The 2024 Women in Humanitarian Leadership Summit has brought together over 100 participants, mostly from local, national and international women-led humanitarian organizations.
It is not only women in the humanitarian sectors, we have women in development, we have women promoting peace, and also we have women from the private sectors. So they are all coming together so that they learn, opening up opportunities for each other.
This issue of advocacy and humanitarian for women in leadership is very important because women now have to pave the way for other women. Long time ago they used to say to educate a woman is to educate a nation, and we've realized that if we want to grow as a nation, women play a very significant bit in it.
The summit highlights women's role in driving humanitarian response and how best they can build strong synergies geared towards the needs of the people.
And the challenge is that we sit in these organizations and we want to build them and wait for donors, wait for money to find us just because we are women. These organizations are not going to thrive. So to have them thrive, let's have our systems right.
Heated discussions also emerged on how best to involve men in these women-led spaces without fizzling them out.
Having men involved in all that we do is very, very important. It's very key. It's not a weakness, it is a strength.
And I hope the men are not hearing that they can be so smart, they can be very manipulative, and they may take the space away from us. So I think male engagement, we really need to be very careful but very strategic as well. We need the men, we need them to walk the journey with us as supporters, but not to take over the space.
The discussions were also centered on disasters and emergency response preparedness. Diana Olwenyi-Peters, UBC News in Kampala.
State Minister for Gender and Culture, Dr. Peace Mutuzo, has appealed to development partners, especially the UNFPA and the Australian government, to support the establishment of radio stations in Arua and Boko districts to scale up sensitization programs against gender-based violence. This is after it had been established that lack of information about the different forms of gender-based violence continues to undermine efforts geared at eliminating the vice, especially in rural areas like Boko.
On Thursday, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, in partnership with UNFPA, held a high-level dialogue to discuss possible ways of ending gender-based violence across the country. At the meeting, it was revealed that whereas Uganda has made major strides in combating gender-based violence, there are some pockets of the country that continue to record high cases of the vice.
23% of women and 14% of men has a take-home experienced physical violence in the 12 months preceding the survey. 11% of women and 4% of men experienced sexual violence in the last 12 months before the survey. Violence during pregnancy was experienced by 9%.
Reacting to this, members of parliament who are in attendance apportioned the blame on the fact that majority Ugandans lack awareness about the different forms of gender-based violence. This openly lashed out at the Police's Department of Family and Children Affairs for being a stumbling block to the access to justice among victims of gender-based violence.
Men are suffering the more in the hands of the women. And it's quite unfortunate that the police officers and all the security organs, they feel that men are stronger and they cannot report such a case.
Female genital mutilation. Go against it, don't fear that you lose votes. It is inhuman. You are cutting where pleasure is. What is this?
In attendance was the Acting Director of Forensic Services at Uganda Police Force, Andrew Mubiru, who attested to the fact that most victims of gender-based violence play a big role in failing the justice system on personal grounds.
Police is just on a receiving end to all these going concerns. And what was mentioned in the world of negotiations is what we are seeing as the biggest challenge to dealing with GBV matters. An issue is reported, and even before we can begin processing the file, somebody comes back and says, you see, for us we have agreed. Now, there is no way you can process a case when you don't have a complainant.
Speaking on behalf of the development partners, the head of mission of the Austria Development Agency, Katya, urged that government efforts towards the elimination of gender-based violence require addressing deeply rooted social and cultural norms that continue to perpetuate the vice.
However, we must also recognize that achieving this goal goes beyond just legal reforms. It requires changing mindsets.
Away from this, the deputy representative of UNFPA in Uganda, Daniel Alemu, stressed the need for increased funding towards any efforts directed at eliminating all forms of gender-based violence across the country.
We would like to call upon the members of parliament here present to commit to ensure that necessary budget commitments are made and an increased and adequate amount is allocated through the national budget.
It's against this background that the Minister for Gender and Culture at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Dr. Peace Mutuzo, called for the establishment of radio stations in the identified hotspots of gender-based violence to facilitate sensitization programs.
Kindly do us one thing, if you can kindly. We need a radio in Amdat and another one in Kapchorwa. Boko, sorry. In Boko. We need the Boko people were here. If Kapchorwa were here, they also. But Boko has Kapchorwa has radios, so we need a radio station in Boko, which will be committed to addressing issues of violence, including other productive work.
The high-level dialogue was held in accordance with the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
UBC News Tonight. Now, the Norwegian Refugee Council and other humanitarian organizations have joined efforts to fight against gender-based violence among urban refugees by empowering victims with survival skills. Gender-based violence continues to be a risk faced by urban refugee women and girls, especially those without support from community networks or families. We have more details.
Urban refugees face gender-based violence risks as a result of multiple and complex unmet social, medical and economic needs. The commonly reported gender-based violence incidents include sexual violence, physical violence, domestic, psychological and emotional abuse. One Florence, not her real names, fled from South Sudan to Uganda in 2017 for safety. But in the process, she fell in love with a Ugandan man who mistreated and abused her together with his family members. What seemed to be a happy ending turned sour as she narrates.
21, I got pregnant and conceived. So after conceiving, the guy took me in, but the family did not accept me since I was a Sudanese. So they could speak negative about me. They spoke a lot, which emotionally tormented me. So I had to leave. But still they could still call me, talk bad about me. So I could feel so bad, but I had to leave. Now I'm on my own. Life is so hard. But all in all, I have to take care of my son. Since I'm a hairdresser, I met a friend who told me about NRC and award. So NRC has been there for me. They've supported me financially.
She advises fellow refugees in similar situation to always seek help or try as much as possible to walk away from violent situation. Dixon Odur, the Media and Communications Coordinator at the Norwegian Refugee Council, NRC, notes that they continue to strengthen community engagement in gender-based violence prevention through communication with communities on women's rights and also engaging men and boys.
We have empowered the refugees through our legal awareness sessions to claim their rights and to know their rights, and also we have enabled them with legal pathways so that they are able to get legal remedies, have knowledge and legal remedies when they are faced with such challenges such as gender-based violence. The power to end gender-based violence is not with NRC, it's not with UNHCR or any other body, it's with you and me. It's up to you and me to say no. I will treat women with dignity and respect.
The project officer at Auyad says that they integrated gender-based violence into their community program to mitigate and address the vice through referral of cases to specialized services of survivors.
So we link these survivors. There are those who need medical support, like the GBV survivors who need support within 72 hours. We link them to health facilities to access services like PEP and contraceptive pills. We also link them for livelihood support, that is NRC and other partners who support survivors through livelihood support. And with support from NRC, we also support survivors aged 17 to 24 years old through skilling.
The Norwegian Refugee Council, NRC, and humanitarian partners say that it's a collective responsibility for everyone to engage in the fight against gender-based violence in communities and the country at large. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Thank you, Zahara Abigaba. Now, the Green Finance Forum held at Onomo Hotel, Nakasero, highlighted the potential of green energy financing to transform Uganda's economy, particularly through support for small and medium enterprises. Organized in collaboration with Centenary Bank and the African Guarantee Fund, the forum emphasized creating awareness and exploring opportunities in green financing.
David B. Mumaso, the Acting Assistant Commissioner for Energy, Efficiency and Conservation at the Ministry of Energy, urged Ugandans to align green financing efforts with consumer needs to enhance adoption and scalability.
About green financing, we are looking at financing for technologies which are clean. In the current era, the 21st century, we are looking at transition to clean energy solutions. Of course, we have had energy transitions before, like the first energy transition which happened in the 18th century, where we were transitioning from the use of biomass to the use of coal, which energy source has a higher energy content.
Charles Kamanda, representing Centenary Bank's managing director, emphasized the need for partnerships to increase the use and funding of green products. Abdul Chani Kansibambi, the manager of housing and renewable energy business at Centenary Bank, called for broader awareness of green financing options to maximize their impact, encouraging the growth of eco-friendly enterprises.
For them here to be able to promote these products to them so that they can use them wherever they are for their customers and also the energy companies themselves. These are low interest loans and they are meant to be promoted. So from here, we are going to go to wherever these companies are coming from to partner with them to do the promotions of the solutions themselves. So that is the importance of this forum today. We have around 9.6 billion portfolio for renewable energy, which we are promoting now. And we have around, this year we have given more than 1,000 loans for renewable energy.
The forum represents a step forward in promoting green financing as a tool for achieving environmental and economic sustainability in Uganda. Crispus Arinitwe, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
To be a winner, you must have the discipline of a tiger. But when fueled with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN and pay. Congratulations! Your car is happy and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
Amazina ganje ninyetwe kwa Seruhanga John Bosco ninduga mu district ya Rukungiri nyo muhanguzi wa miliyoni 18 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangwire urwo mu kuzana *278# ngafuna message eriko mu muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo nedi y'abafere sente ziriyo zona bakaziteka ko nazihangwira.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
There is myths that so many of you live by. If your eye is twitching, it means you're going to see someone you like. If it shines and rains at the same time, it means a leopard is giving birth. If your hand is itching, it means you're going to get money. If you see an owl, it means somebody's gonna die. If you hear of a disease outbreak, just know it is in a village district at the border next to some suspicious country. You will want to scratch that last myth. Because Mpox is in 19 districts and Kampala is among with dozens of cases. Please stop going around checking anyone's hand. Mpox kills. Protect your loved ones.
Welcome back from that break, and now into the business scene. Roadside traders in Busega have been successfully relocated to the newly constructed Busega New Market, a government initiative aimed at improving safety and decongesting the area. RCC Jen Asimwe Muhindo, during her visit to the market, expressed gratitude to the government for addressing the traders' long-standing challenges of traffic congestion and road accidents.
President Lauryn Masika Kazimoto had earlier directed the Minister for Kampala to relocate the traders to the government-built market. RCC Jen Asimwe Muhindo was tasked with implementing this directive. By the end of the relocation exercise,
and also following the presidential directive of one person, one stall. So I closely worked together with vendors yesterday. We made some good arrangements, and indeed, as the day was breaking in the morning, every vendor had vacated the street, and all of them are in the market.
During her visit, RCC Muhindo, accompanied by other leaders, inspected the market to ensure that traders had received their allocated stalls. She reassured them that they would not face harassment or misinformation regarding their rights.
The main role for KCCA is management of the market. But also, the Minister for Kampala, the KCCA Act gives her mandate that where she feels work is not done to her satisfaction, she can take action.
Meanwhile, Haj Abdallah Chitata, the NRM chairman for Rubaga, urged the government to engage youth working in the market through the Parish Development Model PDM programs, empowering them to enhance their livelihoods.
And now into sports. Federation of Uganda Football Association's technical department is determined to ensure Uganda's football development is structured to enable competitiveness of players at all stages. This they have done through various avenues, but none as pronounced as the talent identification system. For how this works, our reporter John Barnes has the details.
All because of a determined and sustained approach to see Uganda's football scale the heights. Every footballer, no matter which part of the country they are now, stands a chance of progression till professional category. All this is because of Federation of Uganda Football Association's FUFA's Technical Master Plan 2023 to 2030, which highlights, among others, the key component of talent identification that insists on find, train and play. And for talent identification to be realized in all corners of Uganda, and especially in the 8 football regions, there must be a scouting process that will enable finding the players. FUFA is not gambling on these scouts and has now embarked on training of the perfect human resource, as evidenced at Multitech Business School in Kampala, where a GIFO scouting course has climaxed.
We have come to an end of our GIFO scouting course for Kampala region. That now brings a total of trained scouts to 55. In Injeru, in October, we trained 24. Here we've trained 31. So we see that the number is growing in accordance to what FUFA is setting, to have so many grade 4 scouts in the country, but most importantly, covering each and every district of Uganda to ensure that every talent in that district is given a chance.
These G4 scouting graduates will start with work at the 157 districts and, like in formal education, can progress to G3 and G2 that will cater for the top clubs in Uganda.
By end of the year, 2024, we set to train about 150 scouts. That is going to the 4 regions, and we want each region to target 40 or 35. So plus the one we trained before in Injeru. But the ultimate aim is to have a scout in each and every district but also to have like 1,000 grade 4 scouts in the ecosystem. Then we shall ensure that every talent, wherever it is given a chance. That's a boy or a girl.
The G4 scouting course at Multitech was attended by many administrators and footballers like Ivan Bukenya and Alan Katwe, who was the best male.
We are now ambassadors of the federation in terms of looking out for new young players aimed at achieving a certain program of developing players by the federation. And I want to urge all my fellow members to go out there and we look for the best talent so that we can help the federation achieve its objective.
All the scouts in the process are expected to pay attention to the 4 attributes of technical, tactical, physical and mental.
Because personally, I was eager about the scouting because in my region we have very talented girls and boys, but now that FUFA has given us this opportunity, we are going to go out and start the job immediately. The journey has been so good and I'm just happy about it.
At the helm of the Uganda scouting system that is in line with Federation of International Football Association's talent development scheme will be the national team G1 Chief Scout.
And with that, UBC News Tonight has come to an end. Thank you so much for your company. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. Good night.
UBC